How's it, guys? I'm Paul Inkpen, editor of Mountain Bike Magazine. Just done a special edition for Wines to Wales, where I am right now, as you can tell. We're day 2 out of 3 days, and everyone's sitting watching the All Blacks. The Boks are about to play, the wine's flowing, the beer's flowing. The tents are here, we're in the village, in this beautiful farm at Paul Kluwer. We're in nature, and I have to say, there's been a lot of talk about is stage racing dying. There's been some talk about alarm bells because the youth aren't doing stage racing. And people have asked me, what's my take on that? And I've got a very refreshing take, because I've just spent the first 2 days riding with my partner Kirsten Flanagan, who we'll talk to in a second, who's 26 years old, keen paddler. She's come to ride with me and she's loving it. I asked her why she's loving it. She said so many reasons. The trails, the time, the weekend away, time with interesting people. And then I said, is it just you? And she goes, no, all my friends would love to. She said, I've got one friend, Alex Topless, a paddler, who saved for 2 years to come and do it this week. She's got a whole lot of young friends who definitely aspire to this. So the question isn't really whether they're aspiring to it. I think it's much more about the affordability. It's a lot of money. But there's a time in your life where you've got to spend more money to buy a sports car, eat at good restaurants. That's life. You've got to pay your dues, and there's a rite of passage. You get a job. In the beginning, you go and drink cheap beer on the mountain, you're out with your mates, and you have your own party in the car park, and you tent wherever you can. Over time, you come to a stage race where the food is laid out. You have a tent, you have everything. Safety, security, parking, bike wash. It's an indulgence. 3 days away. There are races like Ironman that charge 5,000 Rand for 1 day. I think 8,000 Rand for 3 days with great food all day, too much food, is actually not great value. Because when you're into your 30s and 40s, you don't have time to go away every weekend and tour with your mates. To take 3 days, a couple of times a year at a stage race and go and spend some really good time, riding, hanging out, connecting, I think it's magnificent. And the proof is in the pudding. Wine to Wales is full. It's COVID, 2022. Post-COVID, the last time we had anything numbers like this was in 2019, pre-COVID. So it's healthy. Sarnie to Sea, sold out, full. Cape Epic, full. So yes, some of the smaller races might be taking strain. Maybe there are lots of races. It's supply and demand, it's business. So before I carry on for way too long, let's talk to some of the young people quickly, because I've got a great little group of people that are organically here at the race. I'm going to start with Kirsten, who is my partner. She's a doozy canoe marathon team race winner, and she is loving it. She's a contributor to Mountain Bike Mag, and she got the nod to come here and she jumped at it. Kirst, why are you digging this?
Yeah, it's been a race that I've always wanted to do. I have done plenty of single day races in and around Stellenbosch and Cape Town, and I just love getting there early when there's free coffee and everyone's there and chatting and you have a good time and breakfast, yeah. And then the vibe afterwards. In some races you'll just go there and go home, and to me that's just not the way. I want to kind of drive out there and have a whole experience. So for me, Wines to Wales was kind of one of the things I really wanted to do, just mainly for that reason, is because it's a whole atmosphere that goes with the race, and of course the riding is incredible, but that's a bonus.
And it evolves over 3 days. And you sort of go through highs and lows, and the teamwork, I guess. I mean, like you and I.
Exactly.
One time you high, then I'm high, then low, and we work together and we help each other and we kind of connect, which is I've got to know you so well in 48 hours.
And you've taught me a lot of things along the way, to appreciate the ride, appreciate the people, appreciate the vibe. So
which is the beauty of teamwork.
That's the beauty of teamwork, yeah.
So, okay, Kirst, professional nutritionist, excellent contributor to Mountain Bike Mag. There's one, 26 years old.
26.
So
great.
there you go. Matt Lombardi, I think he's 25 only, even though he seems to have been ripping it for the last 10 years. A semi-professional rider who represents South Africa at e-bike riding, but also a very good gravity rider, an enduro rider. Matt's riding with his mommy, Michelle Lombardi, who needs very little introduction. Multiple exterior South African champion, age group champion, triathlete, eternal top athlete. And they are riding as mom and son, which has been amazing to watch. Matt, what do you find so special? Why were you stoked when your mom invited you?
Well, we haven't done a stage race together, and we've always kind of been threatening to do one for years. I mean, I did my first Wines to Wales in 2016, I think, so it's been a long time coming, and we pulled the trigger this year, and actually had to do some training to stay with it this year. But
you guys are tearing it up in the mix.
It's been flipping awesome so far. I mean, it's been a great time, and yeah, I can't really complain.
And I mean,
too
you
much.
said the other day you long rides are sort of 2 hours, and now you've did 4 hours.
I mean, they
etc.
used to be a bit longer, but then I sort of changed
Yeah.
disciplines, and now, yeah. this
And
is
you really
kinda
love
pretty
the
long.
fun stuff. So you're a perfect example of there's a time for fun stuff,
Oh,
like
yeah, for
short,
sure.
fast, adrenaline, crazy, jumping, getting air, and there's a time for riding through these beautiful valleys for
Yeah.
hours on end.
I mean, like my roots are kind of in cross country and a bit of like longer distance stuff, so it kind of feels normal, but I haven't really done that in a few years, so it has to be reawakened. So yeah, it's been a nice little refresh back into a bit of stage racing. It's been
And
awesome.
you, like Kirsten said, that your mum obviously invited you and paid for you. You can't afford to do it, which is unsurprising. You're 25 years old, but if you could, you would. I mean, I
for
think
sure.
it was the bottom line, eh?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
same for you, Kirsten.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely would.
I remember, I said the first wines I did was 2016, and luckily we got a sponsored entry to do that.
And you were like 18, I
Yeah,
guess.
19, I
19.
think. So yeah, that was awesome. We had a lot of mates here, so that was really fun. Like that was a really good vibe, and I've done a few since then, but also like you get lucky with the sponsored entry every now and then.
But it's something to
Yeah.
look forward to
For sure.
in life when you get your mates together who
Yeah.
might be living all over the world, or
Yeah.
you can pull back together and just spend 3
Yeah, I
days
mean
in
the
a happy
atmosphere at a stage race is it's pretty unique. Like Kirsten said, it's like everyone's hanging out together. We kind of have a coffee and breakfast in the morning, go do our thing in the day, and then it's kind of just a jolt for the rest of the afternoon.
quality time,
Yeah.
like with mom.
Yeah, for sure, and that's kind of the best part. I get to hang out. I mean,
No
my
dad,
mom
there's
and I
no
ride a
sister,
lot
there's
together.
just the two of you, tenting
Dad was
together,
here
Yeah,
this
it's great.
breakfasting together. Mish,
Yeah.
what about you? Okay, is it? I mean, you could have ridden with any top athlete and come here and competed in your age group, etc. But you've chosen to do it with your young son, who you spend a lot of time on his career.
Yeah.
But you seem to be thrilled, loving it.
No, I'm loving it. And we, like Matthew said, we've always wanted to do something together. And when he was younger, he was probably too strong to ride with me. Now he's not quite as fit, and I'm still
Yeah, and
the
he
same
was
as I
still
was.
full of like,
Yeah.
what's the sort of
Testosterone.
testosterone.
But
Yeah,
he still
exactly,
is.
exactly.
But I
Trying to
normally
push his old man out of the space.
I normally ride in the ladies' race, but I couldn't because I had to go to a family wedding in George. So then, if I want to ride mixed, I don't want to ride with some other guy that's going to drill me. So then I thought if I want to ride mixed, Matt would be my first option. So I asked him if he wanted to, and he was glad.
And it's
to
really
do it.
good time
It's
out
been
together.
lovely.
Otherwise, he's
It's
on
been-
phones and he's
Yeah, no.
like all this generation. Eh? This is the way to get him into your
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah, no, but
together.
it's been great. It's been great. And yesterday, because he hasn't done that much long distance, he cramped a little bit and there was a little bit of pain.
A lot.
But today, I mean, he's
alone.
a whiz on the downhill, so he was just creaming the downhills and having a nice little rest, waiting for me to come along. But yeah,
And
it's been
respecting mom for being as power as she is at 50. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
in the old
No,
days,
huge
50-year-olds were on Zimmer frames.
Yeah, that's awesome.
54.
Yeah,
Nogal.
it's great to see, and she's competitive, super competitive. She wants to race, and I'm trying to help out as much as I can. And yeah, we're working well
Age
as a
is a
team.
number, eh?
great. Yeah,
You know,
No,
if
you
you
feel
never slow
it.
down, you'll never grow old.
no, but it's
Right,
been great.
on to another pair of father and son. You guys are non-stage racers. You're just a dad and a son who've done, I think, one Sani to see.
Yeah, one Sani to see, not D. So I did it with a mate back in the time.
And you are how old?
So I'm 22 now. I'm an amateur rider. This is my first one since 2016. In 2016, we just did a single day race, so it was nothing really. And this is proper. This is great. Doing a three day stage race with the old man. It's awesome. Just
That's without
connection
even any
and
training. I mean,
yeah, no training.
so I had a really, really good moment with you guys.
No
I'm
training.
tempting,
No training.
no training. And I mean,
No training.
it's not that hard. I mean, I think some of the people are saying, "Oh, it's so hard." And I mean, yes, Cape Epic is designed to be hard. People want to do the Tour de France of mountain biking. They
Yeah.
come here from all over the world to compete against the very best on the toughest Africa can offer.
Yeah.
It's the Tour de France of mountain biking.
Yeah.
These stage races are doable. I mean, if
Yeah,
you can
it's
do it
doable.
with no training, as a guy who's got no real
Listen,
cycling background,
I suffered. It was difficult, but it really is doable. And just having somebody to support you and go through the things with you, it's always doable. You know, whether it's friends or family or whatever it is, you can always do it. You know.
and what was beautiful, I mean, I was tented next to you guys, listening to you say goodnight to each other in your tents. Your bond seemed to be like, I don't know if you're always this close, but it's must have been pretty special time together, eh?
Yeah, look, he lives up in Joburg these days. I'm in Cape Town, so when we get to spend 3 days together, it's a special.
Okay,
special
so you're not
occasion.
actually in the same place. So this
Yeah.
is important.
This is good. He flies back Monday morning, back to the office.
Joburg, yeah.
So this is always special time together.
And I could tell that it was real sincere stuff. I mean, you were saying goodnight to each other. You said, hey, boy, you want to give you a kiss? And he said, oh, I can't get out of my tent. I'm too stuffed. I was like, geez, man, that's like, I'm missing my daughters now. So for a family, oh, there you go, exactly.
And Matt even said to me, I said to him, would you like me to come and give you a good night kiss? He said, well, I wouldn't mind.
Oh, you see. So these things strip off all that pride and all that rubbish and bring us back together as primal family bond connections. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for chatting. It's clear that there's a time and a place in your life when you can afford it, and it's a very important way to get away from the treadmill, the hamster wheel of life, and actually get away from your phone and get out into all this beautiful stuff. Lekker, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Cool.